Why you should always buy rental properties, but never sell the rental properties. Typically, when you buy real estate from an investment perspective, there's two things that you can do. You can either sell it for a quick profit, you can flip the house and make money today, or you can keep it as a rental property and make a little bit of money today, but make way more money long term. So in this video today, I'm gonna share with you why I was going to flip this house. But when I actually ran the numbers on it, I realized how dumb of an idea that was to flip it, and why not keep it as a rental property, which is what makes keeping rental properties so attractive for the long term. So this house, I could have bought it and flipped it. I bought it for $96,000, put $74,000 into the rehab, and could have sold it for 220 grand, netting me a profit of about 25 to 30-ish thousand dollars once I pay everybody out, lenders, closing costs, etc. So 30 grand, you know, nice little payday, but I would have been taxed on it. So I really only would have walked with about $20,000 after you factor in the taxes. So 20 grand, yes, 20 grand is good. You know, everybody wants an extra 20 grand, but it's not life-changing, right? That 20 grand is going to get spent on a variety of things, probably in a relatively quickly manner, versus this other option, which is to keep this as a rental property long-term to pay me for the rest of my life and to build wealth for my family. So let's jump into the computer here, break down the numbers penny for penny, so you can see exactly the power of keeping rental properties long-term. So this is the rental property here. So this is how we evaluate rental properties. The blue areas are areas that you need to fill in. So this is actually a 4-bedroom, and it's one unit, it's a single family house, and it's gonna rent for $1,900 a month. The current property taxes are $1,131. The yearly insurance is $750. And then here's, you know, where all the juicy stuff. So we bought this house for 96 grand. We're going to do a renovation of 74,000. So after purchase and rehab and holding costs, which includes paying our private money lender, because we're getting this deal 100% funded from other people's money, and closing costs, we're going to be all in for about $178,000 here. And then when it's done, it's going to be worth about 220, maybe 225,000, give or take, right around there. So a bank is going to give us a 75% cash out, which means that once this property is renovated, we're going to go to a bank, get it reappraised, and then the bank is going to give us almost $169,000 back out of this property. So cash out of the property. So the bank's going to give me 169. I'm all in for about 178, which means that I'm going to have to bring about $10-ish thousand to the closing table of this deal. So I'm gonna get into a $225,000 house with only $10,000 of my money. Now remember, I could have sold this and made 25, 30 grand in profit, or I can keep it as a rental property and put $10,000 of my money into the deal. And you might be sitting there like, well, Austin, why would I put $10,000 of my money into this deal when I could have made $25,000 or $30,000 flipping this deal? Let's continue to dive into these numbers. So not only am I gonna make monthly profit every single month for the rest of my life, this is where it gets really cool. So this house that I'm gonna own, I'm gonna pay for it, but I'm really not the one paying for it because my tenants are gonna pay me every month. So my tenants pay me $1,900 a month, and then I have to pay my mortgage payment every single month. So if you look at this, between my principal and interest to the bank, my taxes, my insurance, and my property management is right around $1,500 a month. I'm gonna rent it for $1,900 a month. So I'm gonna make a few $100s every month, right? So when you break this down, of that $1,500 a month, I'm gonna be paying about $1,100 of it to my mortgage, my principal and interest. So 30 years later of me collecting rent and then making my mortgage payment, and collecting rent, making my mortgage payment, collecting rent, making my mortgage payment, also known as other people paying your mortgage, once it's all said and done, let me get down here to the bottom, 30 years later, which is 360 payments, 12 payments a year, I'm gonna owe $0 on this house. So I'm gonna owe nothing, not a single penny on this house, and my tenant would have paid off the property. And what gets really, really cool, this house of $225,000, at a 3% appreciation a year, which by the way, we're drastically more than 3% a year right now. In the past, it's been like 2 to 3%. Right now, it's like 5, 10, 15%. So in 30 years, that $225,000 house is gonna be worth $546,000. So I'm gonna owe $0. It's gonna be worth $546, and somebody's gonna be paying me rent of $3,000 a month that I get to keep in my own pocket because I no longer have a mortgage payment. So let's rewind it back just one more time here. Not only am I gonna be able to own this property with very little of my money when it's all added up, you know, $10,000 to get into a $225,000 house is not that much money. Typically 20% down on a $225,000 house is like 50-ish grand. So I'm gonna spend 10 grand instead of 50 grand, and that property is gonna be worth almost $550,000 in the long term, and I'm gonna get paid every single month along the way, and I'm gonna get paid every single month thereafter, and my kids are gonna get paid every single month thereafter, because why would I ever sell this piece of real estate if it's gonna continue to pay me for the rest of my life and the rest of my kids' lives? So like I started out, I could have made $25,000 or $30,000 flipping this house, but when you look at the numbers like I just did, I'm gonna make over $500,000 on this one property. What happens if I do that 2 times? Or 4 times, or 6 times, or 10 times? That's life-changing money and life-changing opportunities, and it only cost me $10,000-ish to be able to do that. So day one, I immediately walk into $40,000, $45,000 of equity, meaning that I'm in it for $175-ish. It's worth $225, so that's $50,000 of equity day one, which means I can sell the house at any time and still make my $20,000, $30,000 in profit that I would have made. And I'm gonna get paid every single month. And over time, it's gonna pay for itself and it's gonna be worth over $500,000. So when you're investing in real estate, you have to think about the long term, right? This would be a dumb decision for me to sell this property today to make a little bit of money when I know what it can do for me in the long term. So when you're investing in real estate, please, please, please keep the long term in mind so you can build wealth for your future and not just make a little bit of money today. So I mentioned in this video how I was going to do this entire deal all using OPM, other people's money. If you want to learn how to raise money for deals just like this, make sure you check out this next video.